Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is another video, another day, another week. I am finally recording videos. I'm recording heaps of videos in the same day. That is why I have the same hair, I have the same outfit. I know it seems like I always wear this top, but I swear that like I do wash this top. It's just every day I film I wear the exact same outfit. But so I am filming a whole lot of videos to upload because I am moving, if you did not see my last video, which means I just thought I would do things now while I have time. Especially because I'm actually going back to my parents' house for a few days and a few weeks. Actually for a few weeks and a few days. To get that one right. And therefore I don't think I'm going to film anytime soon while I'm there. So why don't film now? Obviously. Anyway, so if you cannot tell by the title already, this is my wrap up for May and June. The reason why I'm doing it so early in June, because it is currently the 20th of June, I think it is, something like that. I don't think I'm going to finish any books before the end of the month, and if I do, I'll just tag them on to my next month's wrap up. But because I didn't do one at the beginning of this month because I was lazy, I thought I'd just do a whole huge one now. So yeah, let's just get right into it. First book on my list is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is an own voices novel about a girl who witnesses the murder of her best friend. He's basically killed by a cop for no reason. There was no reason why he is killed. It is a whole book focusing on the police brutality and the Black Lives Matter movement in America right now, and it is a really good book. I really love this book. I loved how true, how real it felt, and how heartbreaking it was. I really liked the language used. I felt like this author because she isn't herself like part of this thing, but she has experienced similar things because she is a person of colour. I felt like she did a lot of research into how people acted, into how things really went, and therefore she created a story that could legit be true. This is probably a story that someone has experienced in their life. Maybe not on the scale of Star being a voice for the Black Lives Matter movement, but it felt very real and I really enjoyed it, and I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book on my list is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. This one came out at the very beginning of May and I read it and bought it on the same day it came out. It actually took me 2 days to read, but that isn't that long when you think about it, because no, that's very short amount of time actually for a book this size. I really love this book. However, I did like A Court of Mist and Fury a lot more. I'm not going to go too much into the book because it is the last book in the, I guess, Feyre series. There are more books in the series, but they're not anything to do with this storyline, which is why I'm counting it as the last book. Basically, it is the 3rd book and it is about how they're going to save Prithian, which is the land that they live in, I guess. And the reason why I didn't like it as much is because there weren't as many recent favourite moments as I wish there had been, and I also felt like the ending, it just didn't give me as much as I wish it had. I felt like it was very lackluster compared to the other books, but in saying that, I didn't hate it because I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I wish it had been longer, I wish there had been more. I wish I'd had more heartbreak, and yep. If you guys want to see my full-on review of this, I will link it in the little eye thing, and I'll also link it down below for you to watch. The next book on my list that I also read in May is The Whole Thing Together by Anne Brashiers. I also got this soon after it was released, after seeing a few YouTubers talk about it, and it kind of interested me. I've never read anything by Anne Brashiers before, but I have seen movies based off books that she's written, and I didn't dislike the movies, I didn't love them, but you know, they're kind of, I would say they're epitome of trashy YA contemporary novels in my opinion, and this is basically that. I didn't hate this. I rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I just felt like it was a bit off to me. The characters, it is basically about 2 families who they are related through marriage. So basically 2 people are married. They had 3 kids together, but then they split up, and then they had 2 more kids separate, well, 1 kid each separately with someone else, and they still own this beach house where they go once 1 week on and off each other. And this is kind of relatable for me because I do have a half brother, and therefore he has a whole nother family I'm not related to. But difference is that I know the other family because we're not close with them, but it is my brother's father and brothers and sisters, so therefore I know quite a lot about them, met them my whole life, you know, that sort of stuff. But this one, Ray and Sasha do not know each other, so it's about them finding out about each other. They've got this unspoken friendship because they've never spoken before, and it's about them kind of, they just have this friendship that's really fucking close, and it's a bit creepy in my opinion. And just it's about their life and dealing with some events that happened, and it was very lackluster to me, and nothing really happened until towards the end, and I didn't really enjoy it, so I rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars because I did like it a little bit. The fourth book on my list is Ink by Alice Broadway. I picked this one up because I had finished reading the book before this one, and that was A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I decided to pick this one up because I did not have any other book in my arsenal with me at the time because I was in the city and I lived in the south. This book, as I have mentioned many times before, is about a girl who lives in a society, it's a dystopian society, and basically they are marked with every different life event in their life, for example birth, jobs, crimes, lies and truths, etc, etc, and she wants to become a marker or an inker, and her father dies, no reason why he dies, natural causes I guess, and she finds out that he's not who he said he was. It's about her discovering the truth, but this felt very junior, but I just didn't enjoy it. I did not like the execution. I liked the idea behind it, even though it was a little bit creepy, but the execution just wasn't there for me. I can understand it is a new author, but yeah, I didn't really like it. I rated this one 2 out of 5 stars. We'll put a correction here if I got that one wrong. The next book on my list, I do not know where it is. I think I gave it to my parents because I am moving and I gave them some books that I want to keep but I do not want on my shelf, and that is And I Darkened by Kirsten White. I didn't really enjoy this. I think the biggest problem with it is that I'm not really into history. I do like Romans, Greeks, that sort of stuff. I like classical things. I really love classics. I love Homer's Odyssey. I love that sort of stuff. But this one is about the Ottoman Empire and another country, I forgot the name of it, and I just didn't really enjoy it. That was the point behind it. It wasn't for me. I don't think it was a terrible book, but my biggest problem was that nothing really happened for a long time, and I cannot tell you what it's about because I cannot remember, because I know I didn't like it and I can't believe I finished it. I'm not the biggest fan of Kirsten White's writing. I struggled with some of her earlier books because I felt they were very junior. I think she's come a long way from her junior stage of writing. She has become a very good writer. I think this is a really well written piece. I just didn't enjoy the story, and there is nothing wrong with that. I think this is a good book, except for the story isn't for me, and therefore I don't think it should deter people who are into historical fiction from reading it. Sorry, I can't tell you what it's about. I can't remember exactly. Yep. I rated And I Darkened 2 out of 5 stars. The next book on my list is Cinder by Marcel Meyer. I do not own this book because I only own it by ebook form because my mum actually owns it on ebook. Yep. I'm actually planning on buying it soon. It's low on my list at the moment because I have read it and I want to buy new books I haven't read, even though my TBR shelf is huge. I reread this book for the second time this year. I read it years ago, like back when it was released. It's a little bit after it was released, and I really enjoyed it. So basically it is kind of the beginning of the major retellings that are happening right now. It is a retelling of Cinderella in the form of her being a cyborg. Yep. I don't really know how to explain it. It's a really magical book. I love the story. It's really nice and quick read. I don't think it's that big of a book, at least on Kindle. It's not that big in my opinion. It's about her discovering who she really is and stuff. It's a very typical Cinderella retelling in my opinion, but it has a twist on it. It's really fantasy-like, and I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to pick up the next books in the series. The next book on my list is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and I got this book signed. It is somewhere in here. Let me try to find it. This is going to take forever. There you go. I got it signed. I went and met Amy Kaufman at a panel that she did at the Auckland Writers Festival, and it was actually a really good panel. I did not realise that she was like similar to me, if that makes sense. Me and her have a lot in common, and I guess that's why I really enjoyed this book. This book is a different format of books. It is in the form of like heaps of different files. It has a lot of stuff going on, and I love it for that. It's a really good book. I just keep saying that, but I love this book. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. That's how much I loved it. It is about an illegal settlement that gets attacked by some people. Bay Corp, that's the one. Got it. And it is about the survivors trying to escape to safety, but an outbreak happens on one of the 3 ships, and therefore the other military vessel is trying to contain the outbreak, but the science vessel where Katie, the main character, is on, is trying to figure out what's happening, but no one's telling them. There's a crazy AI, and it's a really cool book. It's a really amazing read. I buddy read this with someone. Their channel is currently gone, so I'm not going to link their channel. I'm really sorry. If it comes back, I will link it. But I just enjoyed this book a lot, and I am so happy I picked it up. I can't wait to pick up the next book in the series. It's just I haven't found time to do it. I've been reading other books. So my next book on my list was my audiobook for May, and that is Beauty Queens by WRAPUP. It is a book about a 50 girls in the Miss Teen Dream America pageant or whatever it's called, and they've crash land on a deserted island, and it's not actually a deserted island, and heaps of them die, but the main ones live, the ones that matter obviously. And it is about them discovering the truth behind the corporation who runs the beauty pageant, and the fact that they're trying to do a hidden arms deal with someone that they want to be in war with, but not in war with. It's a really funny book, basically. It pokes a lot of fun at reality TV, it pokes a lot of fun at beauty pageants, at advertising and that sort of stuff. It's just, WRAPUP uses her past and advertising and that sort of stuff to bring into the book to make it a very, very funny and well rounded book, in my opinion. It is a bit long for an audiobook, it's about 12 hours. I thought it was quite short, and then I realised that's actually quite a long time, seeing as the last 2 audiobooks I picked up have been like 8-ish hours. But overall, because it's also narrated by her, you get the feeling of each character has its individuality, and in general the whole book is just really amazing. I loved it so much. I cannot wait to reread it via actual book form. I really want to buy the book, but I only own it on audiobook. I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars, so it's quite highly on my list. The next book on my list is Six Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I really enjoyed this book. I had a few issues with it only because I have not read anything else part of the Grisha universe, I guess you could call it. I have not read this Room Rising books. I don't know the first name, Siege and Storm. I know the names of the books, I don't know the order, because I've been staring at them on Book Depository for so long, wondering when I'm going to finally buy them, but I haven't bought them yet because I do not have the money for them. But I bought this one because me and my mum accidentally picked up Crooked Kingdom in the bookstore, not realising it was the second book in the series. It didn't make it very clear, even though it probably says it on the cover. So I picked this one up because I wanted to read that book because I really liked the idea behind it, and I really liked the idea behind this one. I really liked this book. It was very, I saw a review of it and someone said it was like Suicide Squad, and I could totally see that. It was basically Suicide Squad but in a Russian sort of form, in a more fantasy sort of form, even though Suicide Squad's pretty fantasy-like. But yeah, the only problem I have with it is because I have not read anything else part of the Grisha universe. I therefore did not understand some of the aspects in this, and I felt like Leigh Bardugo did really well at explaining it, but I have heard that it's probably better to read the Grisha books before you read these, because they give you a little bit more backstory and insight, but it's not like a requirement. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars, I think it was. If I got that wrong, I will correct. I cannot remember. The next 2 books on my list I do not want to get out, and that is the first 2 books in the Harry Potter series. That is the Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone and Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets. I can't remember. I forgot the name of that. I was about to say the Sorcerer's Stone, then I realised, yeah, it's also book 1. I reread this as part of the Harry Potter read-along thing run by Read by Zoe. I am a bit behind because I am lazy, but I did watch all the movies, so I'm kind of making that up. I don't think I'm going to read Prisoner of Azkaban. I think the only book I'm going to read out of the series anymore is going to be Half-Blood Prince, because it is my favourite book in the whole series. So obviously I'm going to reread it, but I just don't really have the time to read all the books before the 1st of September, which is the 20th anniversary, and therefore the day of the epilogue actually happening. Anyway, I read these, I love them so much, I rated them 4, or maybe it's 5 and 4 out of 5 stars, yep. The next book on my list is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and yep, I read that book finally and I didn't really enjoy it. It is the 8th book in the series. It is an adaptation from a onstage performance, and it is written in the form of being a script. It is written by J.K. Rowling as well as Jack Thorne and someone else, I think, and I don't feel like it was written at all by J.K. Rowling. I felt like I had a lot of inconsistencies. I felt like some of the ideas inside it weren't that on par with Harry Potter, in my opinion. I really love Harry Potter. I'm very passionate about it, and I felt like this, I don't want to accept it as being like an actual canon thing. I'm not saying it is a bad play. I have not seen the play. There is no way in hell I'm ever going to see the play, because I live in New Zealand. It's never going to come here. I'm never going to go to England to go watch it in the time that it's like on stage or anything like that, because I don't think I'm going to go anytime soon. In saying that, I don't think it's a bad play. I feel like it looked really good on stage, because a lot of things that they mention in the cues I feel like if I saw that happening, wow, I could understand the scene better. But because it's a screen adaptation, play, written script thing, you miss a lot of those cues, therefore you miss, it takes away a lot of what's happening in the scene. I feel like it would have been a lot better for them to spend some time to write this into a full-on book, and therefore I might enjoy it better. And yeah, I think I rated this on 2 out of 5 stars. It's not my style. I'm very disappointed in it, just because of what happened in it, not because of how it's written. Kind of because it's how it's written. I don't think it's terrible, I didn't enjoy it. There's a lot of people who do enjoy it, which is fine. You can enjoy it. I'm not saying you can't, but I didn't, so therefore I rated it low. This book on my list is Faceless by Alyssa Scheinmel. This is a book about a girl who gets struck by lightning / a tree near her gets struck by lightning and she gets burnt by an electrical fire, I think it is, and therefore her face gets all screwed up and she loses her nose and part of her chin because that's how hot the fire was, and it's really horrifying. Like, I felt really bad for her, and this book is all about learning to love yourself again. So basically she is the recipient of a face transplant, not a full one but a partial one, and it's about her healing and such, and I felt like this book was really eye-opening into this sort of world, and it was very different. It was a bit similar in the sense of her being worried about love, but I think that is a huge thing that does happen in this sort of realm about people who go through these sort of things, and they deal a lot with people learning to love them again and learning to love themselves again. And I struggled a little bit because I felt like some parts of it couldn't actually happen, like the rate of her healing was a bit fast, but because you've seen people who've had these sort of things, it takes years to heal, whereas she heals quite fast in a sense that she can go out and do a lot of things quite early without bandages on. And overall I think it was a terrible book. I'm glad I picked it up. I picked it up because this cover was pretty damn cool. Like, look how cool that cover is. I like artistic covers basically. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. I just looked down at my phone because I realised I have all my ratings on my phone. So didn't hate it, didn't love it, wouldn't get rid of it, it's still on my shelf. Next on my list is a book from the June-July book pool, part of the Book Loving Kiwis or whatever thing group I'm in on Goodreads. And it is If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, sorry, I might have said that wrong. Basically it is a book about a transgender male to female girl named Amanda, formerly known as Andrew, but we call her Amanda obviously, because it is her name. And it is about how she got beaten up at her previous school before coming out as trans because they didn't like that. She lives in the South and it's just not a thing. And it is about how she is struggling with this sort of stuff. She doesn't know if people will ever accept her for who she is. She doesn't want to tell people she's trans, which is fine, you don't have to tell people, but then she's worried that guys won't want to be with her, and she goes to this new school and lives with her father, and these guys are really interested in her, and she's thinking that everyone's doing it because of a joke, and she learns to make friends again, and it's basically just about her concealing who she is because she's afraid of what people will think of her, because it's a very, I wouldn't say backwards place, but it isn't the most forward thinking place in the world, and I really enjoyed this book. It was written by a trans author, Meredith Russo, sorry, might say it wrong every single time, and she said that in her end of book blurb, I listened to this via audiobook, so I got to listen to her speak. She said that she took away a lot of things such as the cost of surgery, just a whole lot of like things that people go through when they're trans or trying to be, not be trans, they're going through the transformation. She took a lot of this out so you could find no reason to hate Amanda other than maybe who she is as a person. So there was nothing holding you back from truly accepting Amanda for who she was, for accepting her as a female, which she is a female, and I really loved this book. I loved how eye-opening it was. I have not experienced too much of this in my life. It's just really eye-opening. I really enjoyed it, and I think it was a really amazing book. It was very heartbreaking. I cried a little bit because I felt so bad for Amanda. Like, everything that Amanda ever went through, I can't believe people do that to people. I just can't believe people are like that in the world. I don't think people should be like that. I love that I read this book. I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars because that's how amazing it was. It was just a little bit, my biggest issue was the overuse of the word said instead of like replied, asked, anything but said, but that's fine. It is Meredith Russo's first book and therefore has a few mistakes, and she can learn from that in the future, and I'm glad she will because I cannot wait to read another book by her. I am so excited for whatever next thing she comes out with. I think she's on my list of like authors to watch out for. The last two books on my list are It's Not Summer Without You and The Summer I Turned Pretty. Should be the other way around. These are part of the Summer series by Jenny Han. There is a third book in the series, but I picked these two up for like $6 from Trade Me. I do not own a third book. I cannot find it anywhere without having to buy it from Book Depository, so I have like not got it yet. But I read these two in like a day each of them. They're not very long books, they're very short books. I rated this one 3 out of 5 stars and I rated this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed this one a lot more because I felt like Isabel, the main character, had grown up a lot more. Basically, it is a very like contemporary read about summer. It's a very good summery read even though I'm in the middle of winter right now. So this book is about a girl named Belly. She is in love with two different guys who she's known her whole life, and it's basically about her kind of not trying to get with one of them but trying to like see if they like her back, which they both do but neither of them wants to admit it. And this book is basically the same, but she's in love with one brother more than the other and one of them feels sad, and it's very very YA to me, and I think it's a very nice YA. I would recommend them for people who want to read books like this. Like, I don't think I'm going to go out and reread them anytime soon unless I want to reread them before I read the third book, but I wouldn't hate them. They're good. They're not bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Those are all the books I read in this last month or so. Month and a half, 2 months, I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys all next week with another video. Yep. Bye.